China, the world's second-largest economy, has been gradually reducing its reliance on the US dollar. This strategic shift is part of a broader effort to strengthen its economic sovereignty and reduce exposure to external financial risks. The People's Bank of China, China's central bank, has issued directives encouraging banks to reduce their dependence on the dollar. These directives are not just about reducing dollar holdings, but also about fostering a more resilient financial system that can better withstand global economic fluctuations. These directives aim to promote the use of the yuan, China's currency, in international transactions. By doing so, China hopes to elevate the yuan's status as a global currency, making it a more attractive option for international trade and investment. One key initiative is the establishment of the Cross-Border Interbank Payment System, or CIPS. This system is designed to facilitate smoother and more efficient cross-border transactions in yuan, providing a robust alternative to existing global payment networks. CIPS provides an alternative to SWIFT, the global financial messaging system, which is heavily reliant on the US dollar. By offering a parallel system, China aims to reduce the dominance of the dollar in international finance and create a more balanced global financial architecture. By promoting CIPS, China aims to facilitate cross-border payments in yuan, reducing the need for dollar conversions. This not only simplifies transactions but also lowers the costs associated with currency exchange, making trade more efficient. China has also been actively promoting the use of the yuan in trade settlements with its trading partners. This initiative is part of a broader strategy to integrate the yuan more deeply into the global trading system, thereby enhancing its international appeal. It has signed currency swap agreements with numerous countries, allowing them to settle bilateral trade in their respective currencies, bypassing the dollar. These agreements are crucial for fostering stronger economic ties and reducing dependency on the dollar in international trade. These efforts reflect China's long-term strategy to internationalize its currency and reduce its vulnerability to fluctuations in the US dollar. By doing so, China aims to create a more stable and predictable economic environment both domestically and globally, positioning the yuan as a key player in the international financial system. Spain, a major European economy, has also taken steps towards de-dollarization. This move is part of a broader strategy to strengthen its financial stability and reduce its vulnerability to external economic shocks. The country has a significant amount of external debt, which has been a concern for policymakers and financial analysts alike. A substantial portion of this debt is denominated in US dollars, making Spain particularly sensitive to changes in the dollar's value. This dependency can lead to increased financial risk, especially during periods of dollar volatility. This exposure to dollar-denominated debt makes Spain vulnerable to fluctuations in the dollar's value. Such fluctuations can have significant impacts on the country's financial health, affecting everything from government budgets to private sector investments. To mitigate this risk, Spain has been exploring the use of alternative currencies for its external debt. This strategic shift is aimed at creating a more balanced and resilient financial system. For instance, it issued bonds denominated in Chinese yuan, a move that not only diversifies its debt portfolio, but also strengthens economic ties with China. By diversifying its debt portfolio and reducing its reliance on the dollar, Spain aims to achieve greater financial stability. This approach also opens up new avenues for international investment and trade. Spain's move towards de-dollarization, though driven by its specific circumstances, is indicative of a broader trend among countries seeking to reduce their dependence on the US dollar. This trend is gaining momentum as nations look for ways to protect their economies from external shocks. This trend has the potential to reshape the global financial landscape and reduce the dominance of the dollar in international transactions. As more countries adopt similar strategies, we could see a more multipolar financial world, with multiple currencies playing significant roles in global trade and finance. China's concerted efforts to promote the yuan have led to a gradual yet noticeable increase in its use in global trade. Over the past decade, China has implemented various strategies to internationalize its currency, aiming to reduce reliance on the US dollar and enhance its economic influence. The yuan's share of global payments remains relatively small compared to the dollar, which still dominates international transactions. However, the yuan's presence is becoming more significant as more countries and businesses start to recognize its potential benefits. But it has been steadily growing in recent years. This growth is a testament to China's expanding economic footprint and its strategic partnerships with various nations. Several factors contribute to the yuan's rise as a trade currency. One of the primary reasons is China's robust economic performance and its status as the world's second-largest economy. China's massive economy and its position as a major trading partner for numerous countries make the yuan an attractive alternative for settling transactions. The Belt and Road Initiative, for instance, has significantly boosted the yuan's use in trade with participating countries. Additionally, the growing accessibility and efficiency of yuan-denominated financial instruments such as bonds and letters of credit have further facilitated its use in international trade. These instruments provide businesses with more options and flexibility in managing their international transactions. As China continues to deepen its economic ties with the rest of the world, the yuan's role in global finance is expected to expand even further. The ongoing reforms in China's financial sector are also likely to enhance the yuan's appeal. The yuan is likely to play an increasingly prominent role in global trade finance. As more countries and businesses adopt the yuan for their transactions, its influence on the global stage will undoubtedly grow, potentially reshaping the landscape of international trade. The trend towards de-dollarization is partly driven by a resurgence of economic nationalism. Countries are increasingly seeking to assert their economic independence and reduce their reliance on any single currency, particularly one controlled by another nation. The use of sanctions by the United States, often involving restrictions on dollar transactions, has further fueled the desire for currency diversification. Countries are wary of becoming collateral damage in geopolitical disputes and are seeking ways to insulate themselves from potential economic disruptions. This desire for greater autonomy and reduced vulnerability is prompting countries to explore alternative currencies and payment systems that bypass the dollar. Section 5. Emerging markets and the search for alternatives. Emerging markets are at the forefront of the de-dollarization trend. These countries are often highly dependent on international trade and are particularly vulnerable to fluctuations in the US dollar. A stronger dollar can make imports more expensive, fueling inflation and increasing the cost of servicing dollar-denominated debt. To mitigate these risks, emerging markets are actively exploring alternatives to the dollar. They are promoting the use of their own currencies in regional trade, establishing currency swap agreements, and diversifying their foreign exchange reserves. This shift towards alternative currencies reflects a desire for greater stability and control over their economic destinies. Section 6. The potential implications of de-dollarization. The ongoing de-dollarization trend has significant implications for the global economy. A reduced reliance on the US dollar could diminish its status as the world's reserve currency, potentially eroding its value and increasing borrowing costs for the United States. It could also lead to a more fragmented global financial system with multiple currency blocks, each with its own rules and regulations. This fragmentation could increase transaction costs and reduce the efficiency of cross-border capital flows. However, it could also foster competition and innovation in the financial sector, leading to the development of new and more efficient payment systems. Section 7. The future of global trade and finance. The future of global trade and finance in a de-dollarized world remains uncertain. Some experts predict a multipolar currency system, where several major currencies, including the yuan, euro, and yen, share dominance with the dollar. Others argue that the dollar will retain its preeminence due to the depth and liquidity of US financial markets and the continued importance of the US economy. The pace and extent of de-dollarization will likely depend on various factors, including the policies of major economies, the evolution of geopolitical alliances, and technological advancements in the financial sector. Section 8. Conclusion: a multipolar currency system. The global shift away from the US dollar is a complex and evolving trend with potentially far-reaching consequences. While the dollar is likely to remain a significant global currency, its dominance is being challenged as countries seek greater economic independence and diversification. The rise of alternative currencies, such as the yuan, and the emergence of new payment systems, signal a shift towards a more multipolar currency system. This transition will present both challenges and opportunities for the global economy, potentially reshaping the landscape of international trade and finance in the years to come.